Hey, all, welcome to Layn Real Estate University. Thank you for coming back for another chapter on different strategies on how to acquire property. This segment is specifically for people that are immigrants, even undocumented immigrants, and anyone who doesn't have a citizenship. If you have maybe ITIN number, etc. A lot of people don't really understand that real estate, yes, citizens, if you're a citizen of the United States, you can actually acquire properties in the United States. But even if you're undocumented, even if you're an immigrant, even if you don't have citizenship here, if you know how to strategize the right way, some of the best secrets in the world will teach you how to own real estate that's residential, anywhere from one unit to 4 units, or commercial property from 5 units and above, like the ones right behind me. And these beautiful big buildings behind me, those are commercial pieces of property. And the thing is, even if you don't have citizenship, don't let that discourage you. You can actually own property here, and especially if you're a citizen. But I have many videos that go into how a citizen can acquire properties. But again, I'm a real estate agent. I work with investors that are international and that are dormant to America. And if you want to actually learn some more strategies, stay tuned. First one, some people, and this is not advice again, I'm not your CPA, I don't know your specific situation, this is not advice, I'm just sharing my ideologies and perspectives and opinions that I've seen work for other clients that I've had and met myself. So one thing that people do as well that don't have a social security number, that aren't citizens, they actually first apply for something called an ITIN number. That's an individual tax identification number. Think of it of that number being kind of like a social security number, but for people that aren't citizenships. Social security numbers, SSNs, are given to citizens of the United States, or people that are authorized as immigrants that are authorized to be here. Oftentimes will get social security numbers. But if you're not, say you're just an immigrant and you don't have maybe status to actually stay here as a citizen, you can actually register, especially even if you're undocumented. And I'll leave a lot of articles below to support what I'm stating. You can actually get an ITIN number, which is, like I mentioned before, an individual tax identification number. What people have done, and I've seen work, and again, I'm a real estate agent, and again, this is not advice, but just sharing so you can do your own due diligence, and I left a lot of articles and links below. What people do essentially is, at this point, they'll get that number, and they can actually start a business with that number. So for example, Wyoming's one of the states. Many other states that I've met international investors that I've worked with personally, I know on a first name basis, that actually are from China, from Japan, from India, different places all over the world. I have clients from different parts of the world. They come here to buy properties, and they create a business here. They go through different states, or Wyoming's one of them, and you can do your own due diligence for that. And the reason they do this is because even though they don't have social security numbers, they're not citizens, they can start an LLC or a company here in the States that has its own EIN number. Now, to get the EIN number, the way that they typically have to go about this, and I've seen this done, and again, this is not advice, so don't sue or litigate me. I'm just sharing what I've seen. This is just my digital vlog, my perspective and opinions based on what I've learned, because I am a real estate agent. But besides that, what they do at that point is they use the ITIN number so that they can actually apply for EIN number for the actual entity, the LLC, the limited liability company, and that way they create a company that can actually acquire a property, and that way that actually works as the acquirement, the entity that will acquire the property for them. But remember, they have an ITIN number. This is very important because they need that ITIN number to be able to get an EIN number and to be able to open a bank account. Now, if you're asking, how do you open a bank account if you don't live in the States? Good question. Because oftentimes there's a lot of banks we have to walk into the actual branch. This is the trick though. That's usually smaller banks. There's so much technology at this point where you can actually start a bank account online typically, especially if it's a bigger institution. For example, do your own research and figure out what's a bigger institution to you, and typically they usually have options to sign up online. You just send all your information online that way. Bam, you're done. And another tip that I've seen my clients do, I was just talking to one of my good buddies now. He's actually became a personal friend now. Young guy, just got married, and he's earning a lot of income with purchasing assets like commercial buildings. And what he's doing, and which is really cool, is he's actually using his ITIN number to get an EIN number, starting multiple companies, and then he gets those companies, he allows them to build credit, and at the same time he acquires real estate, and then he puts it in at the company as an ownership, so they own the company. And from that point on, what he does is to open a bank account. Because he's actually from Japan, he'll actually get a bank that's here, that's domiciled in the States, that's also over there as well. I have another client who has a different approach. They do everything the same, except they actually open companies strictly online. The reason why my first client that's from Japan actually opens, say for example, just for example, this isn't the bank, but just for example, let's say Chase, JP Morgan Chase, right? It's in the States, right? What my client, for example, will do, this is an example, so I'm not giving his actual bank, he'll actually make sure to find a Chase in Japan, for example. So the reason he does it, if there's any problems, at least there's a bigger branch first thing, they understand international investors, and at the same time what they essentially do will allow you to be able to have an easier time negotiating. First, there's someone that speaks your language typically. Second, or whatever, they're more used to the strategy of acquiring properties through an LLC or corporation, especially if it's in a different state and you're a foreign, you're basically a foreigner who's owning companies in real estate in the States. They understand you a bit better because they have states. This is very common. Just because maybe you haven't heard of it, this happens all the time. And for those that are savvy to this is just a trick that he does. My other client, he doesn't open up bank accounts in his own country. He just opens them up here, but he does it completely online. He gives all the documentation and etc. You figure out what works for you. Again, this is not my advice. Do not sue or litigate me. I don't know your situation. I'm just sharing my stories of people I've met. I met some really unique people. I have a background in finance. I've been insurance licensed for over a decade. I've been real estate licensed for multiple years. I also own a successful rental car business. I know a thing or two about investments. I invest in stocks as well. I'm a real estate agent, and I also put my money where my mouth is towards real estate property. So I might know a thing or two. So please do your own due diligence. I left a lot of links below. I left a few articles below. I also left some documents from the IRS below. So if you want to learn more, do your own research, go down below. Also, if you want more one-on-one coaching or my perspective, and you want a one-on-one where we talk you and I face-to-face, hit that join button, become a member. I do my best to really help you, walk you through the process. Again, I have quite a bit of experience. So I love you guys. Like, subscribe, share, follow me on Instagram, Conrad Layn. Welcome to Layn Real Estate University. Conrad Layn out. Peace. Love you all. Bye.